Let's talk about quality time. You probably don't hear that very often in the work world, not in the workspace. You don't hear about quality time, but we tend to use that word or reserve that word for time with our spouse, time with our significant other. We want to spend some quality time together, or quality time together with our children, or some relationship that is a little more intimate in nature than your work world. But my encouragement to you today is think about quality time in the work context as something that can really accelerate the pace of culture building in your organization. Now, let's talk about what that means. That means anytime that you are with an individual or you in a group setting, you're doing so with undivided attention. When you're sitting in a room and you're of divided mind, people can see that. They can see that you're not really with them. So quality time means undivided attention. Put your cell phone down, put your laptop down. In fact, don't even bring those devices into a room so that you can sit with people and you have no other choice but to be present with them. And you have no other choice to have but to have undivided attention so that you can have meaningful interactions. I like to say that investing quality time with your team is the best way to build a thriving culture. It's the best way. Investing that time. It's nothing like an investment in the stock market, right? You put your money, your hard-earned money, into a market with the expectation that you're going to get a return. When you invest time with team members and you do that in a meaningful way, in an intentional way, there is upside to that investment. People get bought into your cult. They get bought into you. They get bought into your culture when you invest real quality time with them. So 3 things I want you to think about, or 3 ways you can do that rather. The first is one-to-one interactions. So if you don't have one-on-ones set up into your organization, I like to call the one-to-one meeting the number 1, number 2, number 1, like 1, 2, 1, 121 one-to-one meetings. If you don't have this mechanism set up in your organization, put it in today. In a perfect world, you would meet weekly. But in an imperfect world, you meet at least twice a month. So once every other week, one-to-one interaction. And make sure you're talking about things that are related to one's life outside of work, goals, ambitions, desires outside of work. So you can figure out how you can complement or fuel those things that are outside of one's work world. How can work complement those things or fuel those things? And then talk about other things related to work. The second thing is do more collegial type things where you bring the group together and bring groups together across the enterprise, cross divisional, right? Bring groups together so you can sit in community and you can talk about life and you can laugh and you can cut up and you can have a good time. You can let the hair down, so to speak. I don't have a lot of hair left, so I don't want to let too much of my hair down. But that is one way to build culture in an organization, is to have activities that are group oriented. Now, you don't necessarily have to go out and do anything. You can do it right in your office. You can have community in your office over a lunch or over a happy hour in the office. So you can do things like that. And then the third thing is having room for uninterrupted discussions. Some of these discussions can be random in nature, but they can be business oriented as well. If you're dealing with a big, hairy, audacious problem in your work worlds or in your industry as a whole, bring some very diverse mindsets into the room, site level and above, just a diverse and eclectic mix of people, and have what's called a salon. So you provide some food, you provide some drink, you sit in the room, you put a topic out on the table, and people just have conversation around that topic. There's no judgment. There's no debating the points that are brought up. There's none of that. It's just bring it up, bring it to the table. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear your ideas. And through that salon type activity, you could potentially yield some ideas that could be put into practice, but they're not the point. You're not brainstorming. You're simply having a conversation. You're arguing the merits of something. You're having a discussion or a debate about the good, the bad, and the ugly as it relates to that thing, the positive benefits, the negative drawbacks, or the constraints that might be in place. It's a place to come together and think about just a topic that's at hand in your organization in your industry. So start doing that today. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.